13 Folds Radio here on RIFreeradio.org. And you know what that means. It's Mike Liberty coming at you with my main man, Dave Death, at the controls. What's going on, Davey?
Oh, yeah, baby. You know what's going on? I'll tell you what's going on. Godzilla is wreaking havoc on Japan.
Leaving Godzilla.
Thousands homeless. Devastation in the street. And Fukushima is all fucked up from it.
Oh, no. What are you talking? Are you talking about this earthquake?
Yeah, they had an
Godzilla.
earthquake.
Did Godzilla cause the earthquake?
That's what I'm guessing. But the worst part of the earthquake is that Chacha the chimp escaped from the Japanese zoo, and he is on the run right now. They're trying to find him.
Is he the radioactive monkey that they have finally imprisoned?
Yes, I think this is. I don't even believe this is a real earthquake. No offense to anybody if it really is, and you guys are all really hurt and everything, but it seems to me like a setup for a Godzilla versus King Kong movie.
You think this is just viral marketing?
That's what I think. It's like, what was that stupid movie when we were kids with the witch in the woods?
The Wizard of Oz?
No. What was that movie?
The Blair Witch Project?
Yes. Best marketing ploy ever.
Absolutely.
Worst movie I ever seen.
You know what, man? Speaking of Godzilla versus King Kong and marketing in movies, I have an idea. I had an epiphany, actually, just as I was driving here tonight. All right. So we talked last week about Batman versus Superman, right?
Yeah. The kids hated it.
The kids hated it. You know what? I liked it. I think I'm kind of on an island. I know it's getting mixed reviews, but the box office numbers aren't very encouraging for it. It did really well in its opening week, and then it just dropped right off. And I guess Warner Brothers and DC are kind of in panic mode that they're not going to make their money back. And this is the second time now that they've tried to launch a movie, a shared universe comic book movie franchise. And it's just they can't seem to get it off the ground.
What was the first one?
Green Lantern. The Green Lantern movie.
That was the first one?
That was going to be where they were going to start it. And they poured everything into that. They got Ryan Reynolds. They did all the marketing. That movie tanked so bad that they had to kind of quietly walk away from that movie, let alone the fact that it was going to be, the Iron Man of the DC franchise.
Well, the movie sucked.
The movie sucked. The Superman movies that have come out have not done well. People haven't liked them. Critics haven't liked them.
No, I mean, the last one before this one wasn't too bad. The one with Kevin Spacey in it.
Oh, goodness.
It sucked.
Yeah, the one you were just talking, but I mean, what is it? It's a C+ movie at best, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. The one prior to this one, I'd give a B. I was entertained.
Okay.
I thought it was a good movie.
All right, well,
it was well done.
A B is what I give this Batman movie. But you know what? So all of that's aside. The fact of the matter is, they've been unable, Warner Brothers has been unable to launch their movie universe a la Marvel Disney. And I've got an idea to get them back on track.
All right, shoot.
This is what they need to do. Who's the superhero, one and only, that everyone cares about in the DC universe? There's only one.
Superman.
Nope.
Batman?
Batman. He's the only one whose movies do well. He's the only one.
True.
He cleans up. I don't care. Michael Keaton. The Val Kilmer fucking Batman movie, I'll bet you anything in $1997 probably did better than this one that came out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's not very good. People love Batman. You know what the best part of this Batman versus Superman, and it's crazy to say it, I can't believe I'm going to say it.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck, dude.
I knew he was going to nail that role.
Though. He nails both. He nails Bruce Wayne and he nails Batman. In the scenes with him, shine. The action set pieces, shine. So here's what they need to do. They need to relaunch the Batman movies, and then if you want to spin off, if you want to create a shared universe, you do with Batman what Sony wanted to do with Spider-Man, and you start making movies like you do the villains, okay? You do a villain team-up movie with the Penguin and Scarecrow, whoever you want.
Yeah, but that's what they're doing with that other movie.
Right.
I can't remember the name of it.
The Suicide Squad.
Yes, Suicide Squad.
And Suicide Squad, correct me if I'm wrong, that looks like the best DC movie you're going to get. And I'll bet you anything it's going to be the best one. And why does it seem to be working? Because it's in the Batman universe already. Harley Quinn and Joker are the ones holding that movie down.
Yeah.
And it's got the Batman tone. It works. That movie's gonna work.
Yeah, but isn't that what they just did? They started with the Batman series, but it was the darker ones.
Well, you mean Christopher Nolan?
Yeah.
Well, but see, Christopher Nolan wouldn't let them. They wanted to. They approached him with, "Hey, why don't we piggyback? Your Batman movies are really popular. Do you mind if we piggyback on the back of that and launch our universe off of it?" And Christopher Nolan told them no.
Well, because he knew they were going to screw it up.
Right. Well, and because he was making these movies for art's sake, and he wanted to make these good movies. So that's that's
your
beside
plan?
the point.
That's your plan. That's your big plan. That's your big
my big
epiphany?
plan, dude. Batman. Look, I don't know that anything can bail out DC, but I'm. You know what, Warner Brothers? That's it. That's a free idea. You heard it here, man. You got to relaunch Batman, and you create some kind of a shared universe. You make Robin movies and Nightwing movies. I'm telling you, they would do a lot better than fucking Aquaman with Khaleesi's ex-husband.
Yeah, the only thing they do well is make animated movies. What do we got for tonight? Real news.
Real news. You know what? We got a lot. We got a lot to talk about. You want to do another story? You want to move on?
What do we got? What do we got coming up for tonight? I know what I got. I got some great music. I'm giving you guys a treat tonight. I got a new track from 2016 for every segment. Usually I give you guys one in the open, one in the end, but I'm hitting you every segment all night long.
And one of those tracks is the new Lumineers song, is it not?
That it is.
So we definitely have that coming up. Let's put that all the way back at the end. Let's make these people listen to the whole show if they want to hear the new Lumineers.
Oh yeah, they will. They'll listen anyway.
So we got that.
Us.
I have a shocker for you. Mike Liberty is coming out pro-choice tonight, and I'm going to tell you more about that. Mike Liberty is not generally pro-choice. I'm being forced here. If I'm going to remain true to myself, I have to remain true. Liberty is liberty, and on this one, I got to come down on the side of the pro-choice. We're going to talk about that later on. I want to talk about there's a story. Satire is no longer welcome in one American high school. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. We've got a week in weed tonight. I believe we've got Spock touching down from Colorado. We've got stories brewing in Pennsylvania, Maine, and Colorado that all tie back into the core of 13 Fold's message, and that is legal weed. We've got a provocative question on the anniversary of the marathon bombing. I want to talk about that maybe in the heart of the show tonight. All that and a whole lot more right here on 13 Folds Radio on rifreeradio.org.
Now, I got that new song from you by a brand new artist, Bryce Fox. Song's called Horns. Let me know what you think.
Is this Megan's brother or Vivica's brother?
She won't let go till it's scarred. Try to breathe, but I can't, 'cause the air she feeds me is damned. Got a touch like a thorn, 'cause the girl she's hiding horns. She got blood cold as ice and a heart made of stone, but she keeps me alive. She's the beast in my bones. She gets everything she wants when she gets me alone, like it's nothing. She got two little horns and they give me a little bit. Ice and a heart made of stone, but she keeps me alive. She's the beast in my bones. She gets everything she wants when she gets me alone, like it's nothing. She got two little horns and they give me a little bit. She got horns like a devil pointed at me, and there's nowhere to run from the fire she breathes. She got horns like a devil pointed at me, and there's nowhere to run from the fire she breathes. She got horns like a devil pointed at me, and there's nowhere to run from the fire she breathes. Horns like a devil pointed at me. She got
two little horns and they give me a little bit. I'm not one to break promises. I don't wanna hurt you, but I need to breathe. At the end of it all, you're still my best friend. But there's something inside that I need to release. Which way is right? Which way is wrong? How do I say that I need to move on? You know we're heading separate ways, and it feels like I am just too close to love you. There's nothing I can really say. I can lie no more. I can hide no more. Got to be true to myself. And it feels like I am just too close to love you. So I'll be on my way. You given me more than I can return. Yet there's oh so much that you deserve. There's nothing to say, nothing to do. I'm nothing to give. I must live without you. You know we're heading separate ways, and it feels like I am just too close to love you. There's nothing I can really say. I can lie no more. I can lie no more. Got to be true to myself. And it feels like I
friends. Welcome back here to 13 Folds Radio on RIFreeradio.org. Mike Liberty bringing you back in with, that's a classic. I think everyone knows that one. Alex Clare, Too Close.
Mixing it up for you guys today, I told you.
You never know what you're going to get here on 13 Folds Radio.
Sometimes you get chicken, sometimes you get feathers.
But every time it's chicken-based. That's our promise to you. Just like KFC. Listen, man, I want to dive right in. All right, I teased this story. I can't believe that I'm doing this. I'm a pretty severe pro-life guy. I don't want to get down, any deeper than that. It's just where I've come down on the whole issue. But I was reading a story, and I can't help but feel that the federal government, and this is where I feel like, all right, if I'm gonna be intellectually honest, if I'm not gonna be a hypocrite, I gotta feel this way. The federal government is trying to nibble at the edges of something that is legal. And what I mean by that is next Thursday, the U.S. House of Representatives Judiciary Committee is holding a hearing where they're going to be talking about the Prenatal Non-Discrimination Act of 2016. This is a law that's been, as laws often do, it's been every year since 2012. It's been introduced. It's been shut down. It probably will be again. But in a nutshell, what this law is looking to do is create a federally approved list of reasons for a woman to get an abortion.
So it's got to fall under one of those reasons in order for the government's going to make up these reasons.
Yeah, and a provider, an abortion provider, can get up to 5 years in prison if he or she gives an abortion for a quote-unquote wrong reason. So if you wanted an abortion because you're having a girl and you wanted a boy, if you're having an abortion because your baby is going to be half black and that is not okay with your folks, whatever, those are crimes. Now, again, I don't support abortion, but if it's legal, it's legal. Enough of this nonsense, particularly from the federal level, of trying to nibble around the edges perpetually of a law you don't like. You either muster the guns and you get the law overturned, you go through Congress and the courts, and you do it right, or you leave it the fuck alone. And that's how I feel on this one.
Well, in other news, I believe the Clinton family's new stock has risen. They have been the 50% purchasers of the hanger industry, I believe.
Hanger?
Yes.
What's hanger?
Hangers. They're
like
involved,
coat hangers?
like coat hangers.
You don't know how to pronounce that word. The G is more quiet than that. It's like hanger.
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 That's heinous. It's
not
hanger.
Hanger. I thought hanger was like when you're hungry and angry.
Oh, well, that's a horrible joke. Anyways, I ruined it. My timing was off.
Wow.
I was trying to link.
It's like you had a grenade and you pulled the pin and just you
Held
dropped
it.
it at your own feet.
I held it too long.
It's like the worst. It's the worst joke that's ever been delivered on this show.
It was an ad lib on the spot.
You know what? That joke was so bad. We're not even going to edit it. All right. That joke was so bad that it was good. That one's staying. All right. That's a little gift for you guys. All right. Normally we would edit out crap like that, but it stays in tonight. I don't even know where that joke was going.
Oh, neither did
What's
I
wrong
guess.
with you? Dude, you're supposed to be the funny one on this show. I'm
told
supposed to hold it together.
I'm tired, man. I've been up with a baby for
shitty
like
excuse.
3 months straight. I haven't had any sleep.
Oh man.
You
Well, you
look like
certainly
you press
lightened
these
the
buttons.
Are we even rolling? Are we recording
Yeah,
right
I think
now?
we're still recording, unfortunately.
Oh man.
Oh,
That was
shit.
good stuff. That
Well,
was
what
the-
else did you have?
You know what? Let's I know we got Spock coming in on the next segment. That's gonna eat up 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, but you were talking to me about an
Yeah,
interesting
Let
question.
me. So I was working this week. I work with my hands, and it frees up the mind a lot. And something interesting occurred to me, and I was like, all right, well, I gotta bring this to the show. 15 years later, more or less, do you think it's safe to say Osama bin Laden won? Was 9/11 successful from the perspective of Osama bin Laden, what he was looking to accomplish?
Well, I don't know what his goals were. I think That's the main question you got to ask. Did he disrupt American society? Well, yes, he did. We've had a war on terror ever since then.
You've had federal government. I mean, look at the state of our liberties.
Our liberties, that was the pivotal moment that the government needed to strip us of all of our liberties and civil rights playing off the fear of the individual of terrorist attack.
I mean, that right there is at the heart of every modern conspiracy theory, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's, it was the perfect, if it was a false flag, it was the perfect one to do it. I mean, you look at the United States today versus 15 or 20 years ago, we're like a different country. So on that level,
A nation divided.
point Osama bin Laden. Look at our economy. Our economy never recovered. Dude, we were booming through the 90s.
Under the Clinton administration.
Under the Clinton, dude, we were booming right up until September 10th, 2001.
Yeah.
And, dude, really, I know they've talked about stock markets are strong. Do you feel like you're as well off? Do you feel as optimistic or that there's as much hope and wealth as you felt that there was in, say, 1998?
Oh, dude, I have 5 kids. I lost all hope. I lost all hope a long time ago, my
All right.
friend.
So there's another point for Osama bin Laden. Now, let's take a look overseas. You tell me, what does the map of the Middle East look like now compared to then?
It looks like a risk game.
It looks like a risk, right? You got battle lines drawn. There's a new country called ISIS, smack dab in the middle of it. That wasn't there before.
No, it is there now, though, and that's the biggest threat we have.
Dude, you have a militant, jihadist Islamic State smack dab in the middle of the Middle East, and it's the size of a full-on Iraq or Jordan. And there it is.
And
it's
growing.
And it's growing, and it's a direct result of the events of 9/11. You have terror attacks that we sat on the air here a couple weeks ago and said, this is the new normal. You've got Paris, you've got Brussels, you've got Madrid, you've got London bombings, you've got marathon bombings in Boston. This has become the new normal. Since when? September 11th, 2001. All right, that's 10 points, Osama bin Laden. So, yeah, we killed the guy. Yeah, we killed all his lieutenants. You might say we made them into martyrs. You certainly, you talk about a hydra. I mean, you cut off all those heads and ISIS grew out of the stumps.
Yeah.
I rest my case. I feel like, oh my God, we didn't win. Osama bin Laden, fucking checkmate, dude. Checkmate.
You know, it sounds to me like that's a good place to take a break.
That's all. Why don't you take us out on another hilarious joke, Dave? Oh, you know what? I'm sorry to bring you down. And again, I'm not pro-choice. I'm not fucking pro-Al-Qaeda. I know evidence to the contrary. Dave's also a lot funnier than that. That last segment was like a Bizarro segment right here on 13 Folds Radio on RIFreeRadio.org.
Oh, God, shoot us.
Last night you woke me up. Said you couldn't let it go. Drink from the loving cup. Tell me what you really know. That's when it started up. You said you had enough. You circle like a shark. I'm high in the bar, not knowing where you are.
My baby lives in shades of blue, blue eyes and jazz and latitude. He lives in California too. He drives a Chevy Malibu, and when he calls for me, not for you. He lives for love, he loves his drugs, he loves his baby too. But I can't fix it, can't make him better, and I can't do nothing about this strange weather. But you are unfixable. strange weather. 'Cause you are unfixable. Can't break through your world. 'Cause you live in shades of cool. Your heart is unbreakable. Are unfixable. Can't break through your world. 'Cause you live in shades of cool. Your heart is
Welcome back, friends, to 13 Folds Radio here on rifreeradio.org. That was Lana Del Rey bringing you Shades of Cool, which is, I believe, a sequel to the 1985 hit I Wear My Sunglasses at Night by Corey Hart.
They have sequels in music?
The good songs get a sequel. They're trying to build a shared universe franchise out of sunglasses themed songs.
Ah,
Just like My Future So Bright, I Gotta Wear Shades. It's a trilogy.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's the new thing. You can expect to see a lot more of it going forward. So I don't know. It's a thing. It's a thing. I don't like to talk about it. You know what I did want to talk about?
Our sponsors?
Our sponsors. How did you know?
I just predicted it, man.
That is really, really cool.
I'm psychic.
It's like we've done this before. I want to give a quick shout out to our friends over at MBS, Canacare, and Green Side Up. Thank you guys for helping us out. And if our listeners want to help us out even more, do business with those folks and tell them 13 Fold sent you.
Which we did.
Which we did. You know
We did.
what? And speaking of Canacare and Green Side Up, are you ready to do this? I mean, this is your part of the show, brother. This is your time to shine. I believe you have a little button. Weekend Weed.
Yeah, I have that button. It doesn't seem to work too well, though, anymore. You know, but
Hello.
I believe we have our Colorado correspondent, Spock, on the line with us. Are you there with us, Spock?
I sure am. How you doing, Guy?
Greetings from the Mile High State there, Spock. How you doing, man?
Very good. This is you guys, Dave Death and Mike Liberty, right?
That's us.
I love it. Man. Yeah, all is great. Wonderful to hear from you. I've been sitting here relaxing, drinking beers or something like that, you know.
No, it's good. It's always good to get primed up for us. I find we're easier to deal with when you're drunk.
Oh, well,
So-
I'm not quite there yet, but wait in a shortly. You
So,
know.
Spock, I wanted to touch on the state of Pennsylvania, I believe they're actually a commonwealth. They're one of the few commonwealths in this country.
Ooh.
The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is poised to become the 24th medical marijuana state. I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk a little bit about how a Maine judge has revived the efforts there to legalize marijuana in that state. But
Wow.
I have a feeling you're prepared to talk about, is it scholarships in your home
Yes.
state of Colorado? Why don't you fill us
Absolutely.
in?
Yep. I'm sorry. Say that again. Yes.
Why don't you fill us in on what are they doing? From what I understand, Colorado had an abundance of tax revenue this past year.
Here you go. Here you go. I tell you what. Give me 30 seconds to do a little download, and then I'll let you talk. All right. Here we go. All right. Last year, obviously, I'm looking at notes and my brain is pouring out. Last year, are you ready for this? The state of Colorado produced just a few cents less than 1 billion. That's illion with a B, dollars of revenue, of income for the state from sales of marijuana here in Colorado.
Damn. Let me just say,
Yes.
damn.
Absolutely.
That's a lot of green.
That is huge. And now,
That's directly from marijuana sales, though. That doesn't even include the pizza sales stemming from connected to the marijuana, right?
I don't know. I'd love to get a marijuana pizza. Do you sell them? Yeah. Yeah. Now, I have to explain something in order for you to quickly understand where this, how this scholarship thing is being set up. Colorado is a huge state. It's like 5th or 6th in the country, and it has 63 what they call counties. Now, in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, counties are like tiny, insignificant, hardly noticeable political entities. However, the counties here in Colorado, like, for instance, Pueblo County, which we're talking about in a minute, the Pueblo County is just a county in the state, and it's the size of Rhode Island and Massachusetts put together.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's 63 of them. Gives you an idea how huge Colorado is. So Pueblo County, which is in the lower part of Colorado, is somewhat a low socioeconomic status, low income.
We call them poor people.
Absolutely.
Or Rhode
And-
Islanders.
Or Rhode Islanders, yes.
Yeah. And they decided last year, they said, frig this, we are going to take tons of this money that we are, the people, Colorado, Pueblo County, and we are going to put our kids through college with it. This is fantastic.
Which I
How
thought, when this all originally went down, I thought that there was a stipulation that the money couldn't be used that way from marijuana. Am I wrong?
No, it couldn't be used to build. It couldn't be used to repair existing schools, from what I understand.
But it could build
But
new
it could build
ones.
new ones. There's some crazy bullshit.
All
like
right, that makes perfect
Yeah.
sense. Carry on.
Yeah. But this is, here you go. Next year, here's some data. Next year, the city of Pueblo, which is basically the heart of all of Pueblo County, has earmarked 700,000. Oh, no, 70 million. 70
Whoa.
million. I'm trying to read my numbers here. In newly generated marijuana tax revenue just for the county to fund scholarships for low-income Hispanics, although Hispanics is put in like gray coloring, which means it doesn't have to be Hispanic. And they represent, half of the 62,000 people in that huge county.
So enough
And
money
yes,
to put them all through school.
and they're going to put them through through college. The high school graduation rate there is about 60%. However, 60% that graduate from high school, but only 20% of them, the citizens who graduate from high school, only 20% go on to go into college and get a degree.
Well,
And that's way low compared to like the rest of Colorado. So they finally said, see you later. 60% of the voters said, we want the marijuana funds that are coming into, and they have huge warehouses where they're growing pot. This is in Pueblo County, which is like way down in the south.
That's what poor Hispanics do. Everybody knows that.
And they're real good, and they were smart, as they are. They were smart, and they voted, and they said, starting next year, we're putting hundreds of millions of dollars of our income from this county, and we're putting our kids into college.
Wow. Marijuana is the populist cause in this country of our generation. There is nothing else where you can get 60% of any community to agree on and to act on and to generate anything good out of. But it seems like every time we talk about stuff related to the marijuana question, it comes up with numbers like those.
Yes, yeah.
Now, what do you think about what's going on over here on the East Coast? I'm sure you've been following what's been going on in Maine, haven't you?
You know what? I was busy looking up and doing research, all this stuff.
All right,
Well,
let
not-
me.
yeah.
You want me to?
Go ahead.
Let me fill you in a little bit then. So just this past week,
my alcoholic beverage.
yeah, please, by all means, do a shot while you're at it. Give me 30 seconds. That was the longest 30 fucking seconds ever, by the way.
It was 6 minutes, but
I don't
we're
know.
not,
I don't know
we're
if
not
maybe
timing this.
maybe time flows differently with altitude. I don't know. But
I think it's legal marijuana makes time flow a little differently.
this is the one bad thing. At any rate, so this
Well, that could be.
So they're just like in many other states, they're trying to get it as a ballot question up in Maine to legalize marijuana.
Oh,
And-
yes, that's excellent.
And the Maine Secretary of State, Matt Dunlap, actually invalidated a number of the signatures, enough to keep it from getting onto the ballot. He's got an obvious political axe to grind there.
Oh, well, he sucks.
Well, so this past week, a judge up there in Maine, vacation land, has said that Secretary Dunlap's view was too narrow and unconstitutionally burdensome with his interpretation. So the judge has effectively said, you got to put X number of signatures back into the count, and it gets the number up high enough that we're moving forward once again with the ballot question up in Maine. And again, going back, see what I said a few minutes ago. We all know where that's going to go. It seems like time and again, go ahead, put it on the ballot, and let 60% of the population say, yes, this is something we want.
Oh,
So-
yeah. Well, see, he does not suck.
Well, the judge doesn't suck.
No.
Not unless you're standing in front of him.
I don't want to do things like that.
Now, what about Pennsylvania? We got one last thing to talk about, then we got to cut it
Sure.
off.
Sure.
Pennsylvania is going to be the 24th state to legalize medical marijuana in this country.
This is amazing. This is history, guys. Go ahead.
So you're looking at 24 states in the union. At what point does the government stop saying that there's no medical benefit? There's almost half the entire country has finally come to life on this.
At what point do we all wake up to the fact that bullshit just doesn't matter anyway? We clearly all want it.
And is there some kind of law in Congress or anything where it says if over half of the states are already legalizing something, we have to make it legal on a federal level? Because if there's not, we need to make one.
Let's run for Congress.
Yeah. I think a quick answer to the latter part of your question is that if they're we're still hampered by the fact that federal, pot is still, in
Taboo.
yeah,
Well,
it's
maybe
taboo. It's
Scale
taboo.
back the federal. Here are the numbers, by the way,
No,
from
yeah,
the Commonwealth.
Yep.
Here's how the vote went. So, of course, in order to get to the point where Governor Tom Wolf can sign it into law next week, it had to make it through the Pennsylvania Senate and House. It passed the Senate by a 42-7 vote, and it made it through the House 149 to 46.
Wow.
That's pretty overwhelming support. And you have to believe there's a good number of conservatives, liberals, Democrats, Republicans, whatever, in those numbers. And you can see there at the state level in a pretty well-populated northeast, eastern seaboard kind of state.
Absolutely.
That's the support you see at the state
Wow.
level.
Yeah, see, you guys started the second part of this conversation by asking, what can we do? And you asked me that same question last week. How do we grab this by the, and how do we make this? And I said to you real quick, I don't know, can we take some of the parents, some of the people that are using the medical, whether they be parents of the children or people that are using it, thank God for medical use. We've got to, we or someone has got to start to talk to them, organize them, or get them to be on a
They're
radio.
organized, and their stories are out there. They're just being ignored. Listen, we got to let you go on that note.
Sure, that's
Spock,
cool, man.
It's always a pleasure talking to you.
I love it.
Hopefully we'll get back in touch with you next week. And guys, that is about it for the week
I love it.
in weed.
And Spock,
And
just
that-
a little
Yep.
Was the week
Big.
in weed.
A little friendly advice for you there, brother. Everyone knows drinking and smoking weed leads to bed spins, so moderation, my friend. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna round our show out. Dave is gonna lighten things up. He has got some funny headlines that are kind of sort of like news, and we got some new music coming up for you here right now, and we're gonna hit you with the new Lumineers track to close things out. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to 13 Folds Radio here on RIFreeradio.org.
I'm just a shadow of a bigger man, growing brighter with each year I am. I was standing on a mountain, just looking down. It's like my daddy said, you gotta use your head. My body won't work on a body like me, son. No one said that I aim to please. All your life, you can't save me. All your life, you can't
need to come on to Pure Joy. Pure Joy is fun, it's like excitement, and guess what? It's nothing but women.
He's going home with
back to 13 Folds Radio here on RI3Radio.org. Mike Liberty, Dave Death, rounding out yet another show. Hope you liked this one. And that was a little new music from Pure Joy. That was their track called Katie's Gone Home. Nice music tonight, man. I know you've been all over the place with it, but it was good stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how I got to there from where we started, but we got there.
It's been a kind
And
of
we still got one more coming up.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, we got that Lumineers track coming up. So don't go anywhere. If you haven't heard that yet, stick around for that one. I haven't heard that one yet, and I'm a Lumineers fan. I actually kind of forgot that their new album was coming out this month. So, all right, you know what, David? You really bombed with your attempt at a little improvisational humor earlier in the show. And I know that ain't you, buddy. I'm going to
it takes a while for the drugs to wear off.
or kick in. Sometimes when you're coming down, the pick-me-up hasn't kicked in yet. I hope by now those Quaaludes are in your system, brother. Because
Do they still have Quaaludes?
I still have some. You're looking to buy? What's up?
Oh, would you get them out of your grandfather's drawer?
I found an old jacket in his closet, and I looked inside, and there were some pills. I looked up the number online, and sure enough, they're Ludes, man.
Oh, all right.
But,
so
I'm gonna give you like 4 minutes. Make
4
me
minutes.
Laugh. Make
4
me
minutes.
laugh.
Well, I don't even have to make you laugh. Once again, I've gone online, found what I find to be the most interesting news stories as far as the titles go. I don't even read these stories. I just look at the headlines.
Nice.
And so
You can't judge a book by its cover.
Here's
when
a
it
good one.
comes-
You can. Naked man watering his lawn arrested after confronting deputies with 8-inch knife.
Is knife a euphemism for a penis?
That's what I don't know. I thought I found it intriguing enough to mention that one. So yeah.
And follow-up question. If the man was naked, where was the 8-inch knife?
Well, as you heard, basically everything we do now is caught on tape. And the tape shows that Lopez put on a pair of shorts and went inside, and then he came back out with a knife.
Okay, that's where
So,
the deputies
you know,
fucked up. Don't let the dude go back into his house. What do you?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess that's the thing. You know, the headlines are always deceiving. That's why they're there, to deceive you.
It worked in this case. What else you got, man?
Now, this one I thought was great. Drunk guy, another drunk guy makes fake DUI checkpoint and then gets charged with the DUI.
I gotta know more.
In Pennsylvania, this happened.
Oh,
Fake.
you know you can get medical marijuana there starting
Soon.
next week.
Pennsylvania man set up a fake drunken driving checkpoint only to be charged with drunk driving himself when real troopers arrived to investigate.
Why would he do this?
I have no idea.
Because he was
Pranks gone
drunk, I
bad.
guess, is the answer.
Oh, well, needless to say, the person was sentenced to complete a substance abuse treatment plan, which I believe is going to consist of medical marijuana starting next week, like you said. A little Florida update. Florida man flees ambulance after Walmart bathroom overdose. Now,
That story has everything.
how many times in a week do you hear the words Florida and Walmart
And overdose.
and overdose in the same sentence?
Too many times. It seems like I can't read through the paper without tripping over headlines. Like
Oh, my old hometown, actually, West Palm Beach, Florida.
nice.
Cameraman shooting a B-roll outside of Florida Walmart.
Wait, isn't that your brother?
I guess they caught Matthew Law, the photojournalist, caught this on tape, where I guess a man passed out from a heroin overdose inside the Walmart bathroom, and they put him in the ambulance. And I guess while they were doing some other stuff, the guy escaped running down the street from the ambulance, and I don't think they caught him. Actually, he is
good for
still
him.
on the loose.
You know, on
hitting heroin.
a related note, you know what I heard? I heard a similar story this week. I guess up in Mass, what junkies are doing is they're going to Mass General because in the restrooms there, they have like a little pull cord that, you know, if you're there for like a medical emergency or whatever, but you got to go to the bathroom real bad, you can pull the cord and someone will come, like a nurse in your room, you know, like they'll come in. So what these junkies are doing is they go into the bathroom, they sit on the john, they actually tie off with that pull cord. and then they shoot up, so that because you know how they're all dying from the bad dope these
Yeah.
days. So that if they pass out, if they lose consciousness because of an overdose, they're going to pull the cord
Automatically.
and help will come get them. They're already in the hospital. How brilliant is that? It's a real savvy move.
Heroin addicts are underestimated for their ingenuity.
I feel like they catch a bad rap in our society.
Now, still on the topic of drugs, I guess we never got out of the week in weed.
This is 13 folds.
UK airport sniffer dogs good at finding sausages, but not drugs.
That is.
I mean, do I even need to
unsurprising.
read the story? I mean, the headline
No.
says it all.
How many millions of pounds went into training these fucking dogs to smell? My dog is
1.7 million
pounds.
pounds.
My
You
dog
need
ain't
to throw
trained for
schnauzers.
shit, and I can guarantee she can sniff sausages in your fucking luggage. And look at the dog, by the way. What kind of stupid British little fucking beagle foxhound shit is that? Dude, don't you know, England, if you're going to have some fucking airport dogs, you make it German Shepherds or
Make it a
Dobermans.
vicious dog.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'll tell you what they did catch was a man trying to smuggle endangered birds in through customs. They were in his trouser legs.
Birds in his trouser legs. Was he
Birds
just-
in his trouser legs.
Is it possible that this man was a magician?
No,
was it-
it was not David Copperfield.
It was not David Copperfield? Okay.
And I guess he was caught trying to smuggle them out of Taiwan. The man's name was not disclosed. He was found with 18 live birds inside his pant legs.
I would love to do that. What were they, taped down real tight so that their movement wouldn't be detected?
It looks, according to the picture, it looks like they had some kind of Velcro gun strap or something. And there's like 6 birds to a pocket. Yeah. Bad move.
I guess.
So yeah, that's it for crazy headlines.
Why do
this week.
is there something wrong with me? I always feel like applauding these people for their audacity. What's wrong with me?
Oh, I don't know, but without them, we'd have no segment for me to do.
That last story, as a final, a little philosophical gem to go out on, a little kernel for you. I read something this week. This story reminded me of it. The definition of a loophole is a little piece of freedom. A law is the rope they're trying to hang you with, and the loophole is the little bit of liberty that they can't quite squeeze out. So think of that the next time you hear a politician using the word loophole to describe something that they're going after.
Interesting fact.
That's going to be a new thing. I'm going to give you it's like a little Mike Liberty fortune cookie every week. So you guys,
Confucius say, "Man with hand in pocket, feel cocky all day."
I like that. You got any other words of Confucius or anything else?
I have nothing else. I'm drained, man.
All right,
Long
man.
week.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we call it a show?
Why don't we thank our sponsors, Canacare,
MBS, Green Side
Side
Up.
Up.
Awesome. Good job. Good call. Thank you, sponsors. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks again, Spock, for beaming down from Colorado. Brother, we always appreciate your antics here on the airwaves of RI Free Radio and 13 Folds Radio. Come on back next week. We'll have some fresh material for you. In the meantime, we're going to send you out with a brand new Lumineers track called Ophelia.
When I was younger, I should have known better, and I can't feel no remorse, and you don't feel nothing bad. I got a new girlfriend. He feels like he's on top, and I don't feel no remorse. And you can't see past my blindness. Oh, Ophelia, you've been on my mind, girl, since the flood. Oh, Ophelia, heaven help a fool that's all she wrote. Oh, Ophelia, you've been on my mind, girl, like a drug. Oh, Ophelia, heaven help a fool who falls in love. Oh, Ophelia, you've been on my mind, girl, since the flood.